Okay, before we get into the topic of this video, I just want to say I am looking rather dapper on this fine day, dude. Good lord, this blue shirt is nice, dude. I must say, this is the first time I've worn this thing. This is not too shabby, but let's get back on track. Do you guys know that show Alone? It's on the History Channel. If you don't know what it is, just Google it, but I'll give a brief rundown. It takes like 10 or so survival experts and it drops them into like a woodland or desert or Arctic environment, and they just have to survive, and whoever's the last one standing wins the entire competition. I was watching this show, and I think it was the second or third season, there was one guy who was just ridiculously good. He was ridiculously good at surviving. Like, this dude, his setup was insane. They have to build like their own shelter or whatever. They have to find their own food, their own water, all this nonsense, dude. This guy was ridiculously good. I was like, oh my god, there's no way this guy loses. Like, you would see all the point of views from all these different contestants because they all have their GoPros and they're all recording their daily lives and what they're doing. And this dude, oh my god, it will go and show the POVs of all these other contestants and they were all struggling. Then it will go back to this dude, and this dude was just having a grand old time, dude. He literally built a bowling alley from the materials he found just floating in the ocean. He built himself a makeshift bowling alley. He had his own sewage system. He was good on food. He was good on water. This dude was on track to win. There was no way this guy was gonna lose. He was my favorite contestant, dude. My absolute favorite. This dude was absolutely insane. Compared to all the other ones, it was like night and day, dude. This guy, it was like cheating, pretty much. I'm like, how did they find this guy? What is this nonsense? But then he dropped out. He dropped out. Now you might be saying, how can a guy that's this good, this powerful, drop out? He dropped out because he missed his wife. He had a wife at home. He missed her. His undying, burning longing to be with his wife was so overpowering, he chose to leave the competition. What? Are you kidding me? Dude, you knew what you were signing up for. You knew what was at stake. But you left because you missed your wife. Does that make me a little bit mean to think like that? But like, you are signing up to be in a competition where you could be out there for months on end. There is no time limit. It keeps going until there's one left standing. You signed up for that. You knew what you were getting into. You should have mentally prepared yourself beforehand to know you were going to be away from your wife for a long time, dude, for a long period of time. But he gave up. I'm pretty sure the grand prize is like $100,000 or something. You gave up, dude. You were set up. You were good to go. You had a bowling alley, man. You had a bowling alley. This dude had like the best position out of all the contestants in the entire show. He was set up for success, and he gave up because he missed his wife. Now, I respect the fact that he loves his wife so much that he was like, okay, I'm doing great. I'm probably gonna win this entire thing, but my longing for my wife it's just too much. I gotta drop out, dude. I gotta leave. I respect that, but at the end of the day, dude, it's a little bit funky. You knew what you were signing up for, man. You should have been prepared to stay out there for a long time, man. Now, what do you think on that? Do you think I'm in the wrong? Do you think it's his choice? He could drop out whenever. But I think if you're signing up to be on this show, dude, you have to know what you're getting into. You got to know that you're going to be out here for a long time. And beforehand, just prepare yourself. Spend as much time with your wife as you possibly can before you get shipped out so you're prepared. I don't think he should have dropped out, dude. I don't think so. Good Lord. I disagree with that. Now, it's his choice, but like, I think it's a little bit fiendish, to be honest, man. You should have been prepared. And there was another guy in a different season. I don't know which season this was, but I remember the dude. This guy, he was kind of similar to the guy we just talked about. He was pretty good too. I wouldn't say he was the best one there, but he was pretty well set up in terms of food and water and whatnot. He had a really good system for catching fish, and he would catch fish consistently. consistently with success. This dude, his problem was he would catch the fish and just hoard the fish. He wouldn't eat it. He had this underlying fear that he wouldn't be able to catch any more fish. So he would just catch the fish, smoke it to preserve it, and put it away in a can and just like keep it for safekeeping. He wouldn't eat it. And the show, how it goes, the producers and whatnot, they come in and check on the contestants on a regular basis to make sure they're not out there, like dying or whatever. They're not out there starving themselves to death. They do it every so often. They got to check the contestants' weight, make sure they're not too underweight, make sure they're not sick or whatever. They come in and they do their check on this guy. And they notice he is so ridiculously underweight that they have to pull him from the competition. They have to pull him because he is dangerously underweight. He had nothing, no meat on his bones, dude. And it hurt to watch because you see this guy catching so much food. He had so much food saved up, stored away, but he just was not eating it. He would nibble on it. He would eat just enough to be able to keep going, to be able to, think coherently, but he wasn't eating enough to sustain himself healthily. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous to see. And when they were pulling him out, he was just sitting there pleading with them, please let me stay. I have food. He was on the verge of tears. I have food. Let me stay. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, you're screwing yourself over. This entire time you have all this food, all this sustenance. You could have eaten it. Why weren't you eating? You were catching fish consistently with success, dude. It was almost comical how much fish he was catching, and he wasn't eating it. He wasn't eating it. I wanted to feel bad for the guy. I did. But he had no one to blame but himself, dude. I really wanted to feel bad for him, but he had the tools he needed to survive right there, and he chose to neglect it. I don't know what this dude's problem was. It was actually like messed up to see, This dude was straight up just killing himself, but he had the means to survive. It was really odd to see, dude. Alone is a pretty good show, man. It's a really good show. If you've never watched Alone, I recommend it. I haven't watched any later seasons. I think that was the last season I watched. I was so fed up. I was so fed up with it and so just distraught from what I was seeing. I was like, okay, I can't take it anymore, dude. I'm going to have an aneurysm watching these people throw these victories away. Good Lord, dude. But it's a pretty good show if you like it. If you like survival shows, it's not too bad, man. It's not too bad. It also makes me remember the one guy. There was one guy, this one black dude. I don't know if it was the first season or the second season, but this one black dude, he was the first one to get out. He said he saw a bear. He was so scared. He said he saw a bear, and everyone was like, okay, you saw this bear, but did you record this bear? He was like, no, but I did see a bear, dude. I did see a bear. I didn't want to leave, but this bear was right there. I had to get out. And everyone's like, okay, but did you record the bear? You're supposed to have your camera going at all times. Your camera's supposed to be going with you wherever you go. Where was the bear? They did this post-season show where all the contestants were there, and everyone's just looking at them like, yeah, where was the bear at? You said you saw a bear. You said you were scared of the bear. You wanted to get out of there. Where was the bear? He's like, it was there. It was there. I couldn't record it. I couldn't record it. I wanted to get out of there. And everyone's like, He was the first one to get out, dude. I'm pretty sure in the very first episode of whatever season that was, he was the very first contestant to get out. He said, I can't take it, dude. I can't take it. I saw a bear. I swear I saw a bear. I had to get out of there, dude. It's a really good show. I really like Alone. But that's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed whatever this is, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Goodbye.